Pakistani citizen arrested in Canada for allegedly plotting attack in New York. A Pakistani citizen residing in Canada, Mohammed Shahzeb Khan, 20, also known as Shahzeb Jadoon, was arrested on Sept. 4 in Canada in connection with a complaint filed in the Southern District of New York. Khan was charged with attempting to provide material support and resources to a designated foreign terrorist organization, FTO, the Islamic State of Iraq and al-Sham, ISIS. The defendant is alleged to have planned a terrorist attack in New York City around October 7th of this year with the stated goal of slaughtering, in the name of ISIS, as many Jewish people as possible, said Attorney General Merrick B. Garland. Thanks to the investigative work of the FBI and the quick action of our Canadian law enforcement partners, the defendant was taken into custody. As I said to Canada's Minister of Public Safety yesterday, we are deeply grateful to our Canadian partners for their critical law enforcement actions in this matter. Jewish communities, like all communities in this country, should not have to fear that they will be targeted by a hate-fueled terrorist attack. The Justice Department will continue to work closely with our domestic and international partners to aggressively counter the threat posed by ISIS and other terrorist organizations and their supporters. The defendant was allegedly determined to kill Jewish people here in the United States. Nearly 1 year after Hamas' horrific attack on Israel, this investigation was led by the FBI, and I am proud of the terrific work by the FBI team and our partners to disrupt Khan's plan, said FBI Director Christopher Wray. The FBI will continue to work closely with our partners to investigate and hold accountable those who seek to commit violence in the name of ISIS or other terrorist organizations. Fighting terrorism remains the FBI's top priority, as alleged in the complaint. Khan, who resided in Canada, attempted to travel from Canada to New York City, where he intended to use automatic and semi-automatic weapons to carry out a mass shooting in support of ISIS at a Jewish center in Brooklyn, New York. Khan began posting on social media and communicating with others on an encrypted messaging application about his support for ISIS in or about November 2023, when, among other things, Khan distributed ISIS propaganda videos and literature. Subsequently, Khan began communicating with 2 undercover law enforcement officers, collectively, the UCs. During those conversations, Khan confirmed that he and a US-based ISIS supporter, Associate-1, had been planning to carry out an attack in a particular US city. City-1. Among other things, Khan said that he had been actively attempting to create a real offline cell of ISIS supporters to carry out a coordinated assault in City 1 using AR-style rifles to target / Israeli Jewish Chabads scattered all around City 1. During subsequent conversations, Khan repeatedly instructed the UCs to obtain AR-style assault rifles, ammunition, and other materials to carry out the attacks, and identified the specific locations in City 1 where the attacks would take place. Khan also provided details about how he would cross the border from Canada into the United States to conduct the attacks. During these conversations with the UCs, Khan emphasized that October 7th and October 11th are the best days for targeting the Jews because, October 7th, they will surely have some protests and October 11th is Yom Kippur, on or about August 20. Khan changed his target location from City 1 to New York City, after initially suggesting certain neighborhoods in New York City to the UCs. Khan decided to target location -1, a Jewish center located in Brooklyn, New York. Khan told the UCs that he planned to carry out this attack on or around October 7, 2024. which Khan recognized as the one-year anniversary of the brutal terrorist attacks in Israel by Hamas, a designated FTO, which, on October 7, 2023, launched a wave of violent, large-scale terrorist attacks in Israel, in support of his choice of New York City as his target location. Khan boasted that New York is perfect to target Jews because it has the largest Jewish population in America, and therefore, even if we don't attack an event, we could rack up easily a lot of Jews. Khan proclaimed that we are going to NYC to slaughter them, and sent a photograph of the specific area inside of location 1 where he planned to carry out the attack. Thereafter, Khan continued to urge the UCs to acquire AR-style rifles, ammunition, and other equipment for his attack, including some good hunting knives, so we can slit their throats. Khan repeatedly reiterated his desire to carry out the attack in support of ISIS, and discussed planning for the attack, including by identifying rental properties close to location 1 and paying for a human smuggler to help him reach and cross the border from Canada into the United States. During one communication, Khan noted that if we succeed with our plan, this would be the largest attack on U.S. soil since 9/11, on or about Sept. 4, as Khan said he planned to do in connection with his attack. Khan attempted to reach the US-Canada border. To do so, Khan used 3 separate cars to travel across Canada towards the United States, before he was stopped in or around Ormstown, Canada, approximately 12 miles from the US-Canada border. Khan is charged with 1 count of attempting to provide material support and resources to a designated foreign terrorist organization. If convicted, he faces a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. A federal district court judge will determine any sentence after considering the U.S. sentencing guidelines and other statutory factors. Why was this Pakistani citizen, Mohammed Shahzeb Khan, working for ISIS in Canada? The federal government keeps saying how great it is at screening. At least they didn't grant him citizenship yet. https://rci/n/news/2100374/man-accused-of-planning-terror-in-toronto-screened-. Twice before getting citizenship official. Maybe stop bringing in religious fundamentalists and their insane beliefs? We can literally choose who we let in our country. My cynicism has never reached a higher level. So who is the colleague? Hopefully they got them as well? Question mark. This is horrific. Thanks to the FBI, this disgusting monster is caught. But how many more are there in our country? How many more have been, will be radicalized and actively work to destroy our society? Molson Coors ends diversity, equity and inclusion policies, moves to broader view. I find it odd when I'm applying for jobs and am asked to disclose my sexual orientation. I am a visible minority, and I support this. Just hire the most qualified person. No one seems to have read the article. Molson has previously received perfect scores for their diversity and inclusion practices. Them getting to a point that they feel they no longer need these policies or external regulation means they feel they have currently gotten to a place where such actions do not need to be prioritized. It could easily be that they feel they have gotten to the point that they can organically move forward with a diverse and inclusive workspace without having to continually artificially create one. Really annoyingly, there are a lot of articles about this, but none of them actually saying what the policies were and what the revision is. What's the point if not only to ruffle feathers? Like all things corporate, DEI will be phased out as its propensity for generating profits dwindles. Newsflash. For giant corporations, it was never about being inclusive and/or trying to help people. Maybe I'm missing something, but can't companies just enforce a policy to hire the most qualified applicants, regardless of race, gender, disability, etc.? Why are DEI departments even needed when they can just train their HR, hiring departments to employ colorblind recruitment? Girl, 14, charged with attempted murder after allegedly setting classmate on fire at Sask High School. This post appears to relate to a province territory of Canada. As a reminder of the rules of this subreddit, we do not permit negative commentary about all residents of any province, city, or other geography. This is an example of prejudice, and prejudice is not permitted here. https://www.reddit.com/r/canada/wiki/rules set soumission semble concerner une province ou un territoire du Canada, selon les règles de ce sous répertoire. Nous sénatorisons pas les commentaires négatifs sur tous les résidents d'une province, d'une ville ou d'une autre région géographique. Il s'agit d'un exemple d'intolérance qui n'est pas autorisé ici. https://www.reddit.com/r/canada/wiki/reglas*IAM bot. And this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message compose to =r Canada if you have any questions or concerns. Guys, school has been in session for 4 days. What is happening? My daughter and her friends just got jumped at the mall by 3 drunk girls on a Friday at 4. Seriously, what the fuck are people doing when they raise their kids these days? The lack of parenting I have seen in elementary and high school kids is really disturbing. My son does a big buddy thing with the kindergarteners for the first week. The young ones started playing a game of let's throw random shit at the teacher, and then started trying to wrestle all the big buddies. WTF. The Youth Justice Act was introduced to protect kids from being followed with stupid petty crimes from their past, allowing them to grow and mature. I'm sure it has saved a lot of kids who now live full, respectable lives, not for people who set people on fire. Let's see this little bee plaster the face. Regardless of age, anyone who does this should be in prison or a mental institution for the rest of their life. But this is Canada. Kids are out of control these days. Not Canada news, but there's news that a group of kids beat an elderly man to death in the UK. And didn't we have a murder case by a 14-year-old not long ago here? Kids globally getting out of fucking control. Canada's unemployment rate approaching worrying levels, senior economist. Wow, we went from labor shortage to record unemployment in less than 2 years. Almost like we might have been lied to or something. And this rate doesn't include recent grads, the people who have given up looking for a job, and those who are doing temp gig. It's called a recession when we have declining GDP for 2 successive quarters. Canada has had a declining GDP per capita for the last 6 years. They've masked the fact that we're in a recession by flooding the country with workers. I'm tired of being disappointed in my country. Typically, when the employment situation is deteriorating, the ability to find a job is correlated with job security. It hasn't been in this cycle, Bernard explained. So, people with steady employment have remained in their jobs fairly well. Layoff rates have been pretty low. Hiring, though, has been quite weak. So that's been the main driver of the weakening trend in unemployment. Rate of hiring would be fine if Canada weren't adding almost 100,000 over the age of 15 each month. Canada has 800,000 more jobs than 25 months ago when the unemployment rate was 4.8%. 2+ million people happen. 6.6% unemployment rate. 14.5% unemployment rate for youths. Highest since 2012. Yet we keep on importing millions of foreigners. All by design. What rocket scientist thought adding millions upon millions of citizens with no large economic drive or investment in housing and infrastructure is surprised the unemployment rate is skyrocketing? Now there's 8 million more of us since 2015 trying to compete for the same amount of jobs, and housing resources were growing 8x faster than the states. At what point does this all fall apart and unrest and the breakdown of government begins? I go to the hospital and see it crammed with a line around the side, see low-wage jobs fairs with lines around the block, and I really think to myself, holy shit, there's not much left here from a complete fallout. The real wake-up call is when America starts to notice, like holy shit, 1/3 of our working population speaks broken English. Who's going to want to ever invest here? This is just the start, it'll just keep tanking, mark my words. Anyone taking bets till we have Uber Eats drivers having turf wars? Ezra Levant furious to discover he could have been getting money from Russia this whole time. While satire posts are popular, we understand that not everyone enjoys them. If you wish not to see them, please use the filter on the sidebar or set your own filters to block satire content or websites. La satire est populaire ici. Mais nous comprenons que tout le monde ne l'apprécie pas. Si vous n'essayez pas l'espoir, voyez utiliser le filtre sur la barre latérale au lieu définir vos propres filtres pour bloquer le contenu satirique ou les sites web. Filter out satire. Filtre satire. https stredit.com/r/Canada*. I am a bot. And this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message compose to =r Canada if you have any questions or concerns. Even the Russians wouldn't touch him. It's Ezra, so I didn't immediately realize it was satire. Greater than beyond the money, Levant was particularly hurt that Russia would use right-wing influencers like Lauren Southern and Lauren Chen, when he is just as much of an unethical shill as they are. Greater than, I get it. They're slightly more photogenic than me. Whatever. If you want the biggest name in right-wing shithousery in Canada, you call me. Why go out for hamburgers when you have steak at home? Quote, Ezra is ready for the compromat human centipede as shown by the pic above. I don't think the Russians are that desperate.